Warwick Khalsa, Wagyu for the ladies and gentlemen to another episode of Seek Spectrum. I'm your guest presenter this week, Dr. Savi. And with me, we've got a fantastic guest with us. It is Jaspal Singh from Virgin Atlantic. I'll leave it to him to explain the fantastic job that he actually does. And this particular show happens to be a special because we're going to be talking about this amazing initiative that Virgin have put together. And I hope it will inspire you, if you're out there, to apply. Obviously, you'll be the right age group, but I won't steal his thunder. So let's first of all introduce Jaspal. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Savi. It's been nice to see you after.
It's so difficult to get hold of you. I know, because you're always flying around, aren't you? You're always,
indeed, yes. Yeah. I'm all over the world.
I think it's probably something to do with the fact that it's your job.
Yes, Senior First Officer with Virgin Atlantic. So yeah, it's a very intriguing job, but we'll obviously chat about that.
Yeah, sure, we will. So tell us, I mean, I know a little bit about Virgin. I mean, it's founded back in '84, well over 30 long-haul routes, loads of aircraft, you know, it's something like, I think something like 4,000 cabin crew as well. You've got like new planes and stuff that you're getting to?
Yeah, we've got 4,000 cabin crew, over 850 pilots. We've got Airbus A330, which I fly, Airbus A340, which I fly, 747, and we've just took delivery of our first Dreamliner, the EM787, and that's going to be our aircraft for the future, and we'll be getting virtually one every couple of months now. So we'll have eventually about 20 odd 787s. So,
I was quite honoured actually. I got a link to the airline industry because my father used to work for an airline for about 25 years or so. And so many years ago we went to Boeing. And then recently, just a few years ago, I saw the Dreamliner being built, and it's just the most amazing aircraft.
It is. It's a very good aircraft for Virgin Atlantic. It's it's going to be doing all our long haul. It's going to go into Delhi from sometime next year. It's going to be doing all our Hong Kong, China's, and it's going to be saving a lot of money as well. And it's a very fuel efficient aircraft.
So how do you feel? You know, like you've been doing this for a few years. Obviously, you've got a whole history of learning to fly and stuff like that. Do you still get that fantastic feeling when you're up there? I mean, we do as passengers. Like we look at it and go, "How is this plane off the ground? What a massive responsibility these guys have got to."
Question how it gets off the ground, but I'm not just saying it because I'm sitting here, but one, being an airline pilot is just one of the best jobs in the world, but two, working for Virgin Atlantic was a dream come true for me. I mean, I started my career off in the probation service, but and always wanted to be a pilot, and hopefully I'll aspire others after this scheme. But probation officer, worked for BMI Baby company in the Midlands, then I worked for EasyJet for 6 years. But my dream was always to do long haul, and in particular, I always wanted to work for Virgin Atlantic. It's got this iconic brand, and the way they do things, I felt my personality fitted into that. So I managed to get a job with them just over 2 years ago, and I haven't looked back since.
It sounds like a great company to work for, good culture and everything. So do you think, I mean, I just want to ask you just a little side question really, do you think the media represents a kind of a true reflection in today's society in terms of role models and, people at school, and they can say, hey, actually, that's I'd like to be that kind of person, or I'd like to aspire for that. Do you think that they're a little bit too focused on celebrity and not focused on real people that do real jobs,
I think that would be nice if they did focus more on people with real jobs. I mean, if I just speak as a Sikh airline pilot, there's not many of us around. I mean, there's literally just a handful of us, and so that hasn't been in the media at all. But I've been part of the scheme, this new Virgin Atlantic Future Flies program, and my picture's been on the poster and various websites, etc., whatever. So we've had a lot of positive feedback as a result. So, and I've done talks at various schools and colleges before as well, and it's always nice that they see a pilot, but it's even nicer, I think, when they see somebody who they're not seeing the stereotypical pilot. So,
what kind of questions do you get asked when you're out there in the schools and people going up? Sir, can I ask a question? What kind of things do they ask?
It is genuinely, people have this thing about aviation, Savi, isn't there? Where everyone gets excited about going on a plane, and people are always asking, how did you get in the air? How did you get into flying? And what's it like when you go to the destinations? And the obvious one, everyone says, can you get me a first class ticket?
Oh, right, okay, can't do that. Really.
No, actually my parents do. I get them from my parents. So they're flying back from India today, actually.
So, wonderful. I mean, there's a lot of coverage, isn't there? So, so tell us a little bit more about your education and career. You mentioned it before that you kind of moved from other airlines, but what was the core education that you had?
I did my GCSEs and then I did my A-levels, and I didn't particularly want to go to university, and so I became a youth worker. And then I slowly got into that type of work, running play schemes, and then I became a residential social worker. I used to work in children's homes.
Wow.
And and then I thought, right, okay, this is going to be my calling in life. I thought, right, I'm going to go to university. I'm going to do this properly. So I did a social work degree at in Birmingham University back in 91, 93. That type of so long ago, I can't even remember.
Right.
But I did that, and then whilst I was training, I became quite interested in the criminal side of things, and I did my placement at a probation office, and I absolutely loved it. And so I decided to sort of deviate a bit and become a probation officer.
Do you think it gives that critical skills, critical thinking skills, are they the kind of things that
it was critical, psychological, there was still a lot of social welfare aspect to it as well, because we were dealing with people with drug problems and committing crime, and so you're still doing the social work bit. So that was the area that I went into, and I did it for the best part of 4 or 5 years. But behind that, there was always this passion that I wanted to fly, always wanted to fly. And during my time at school, I was told, oh, no, you've got to have physics A level, maths A level, and that wasn't necessarily the case.
People have this impression that you have to be, know a lot about mathematics and physics, and
that isn't necessarily true at all. Yeah. I mean, the requirement now is that you have at least, at the very least, a maths GCSE and an English GCSE, 5 GCSEs in total. Right. But no, that was maybe the case 25, 30 odd years ago, but not necessarily.
So specifically, I know, one of the things that we want to cover today is we want to talk about Virgin's, fantastic initiative. I call it fantastic because for me, I see it as an outreach for people to have opportunities to come and join Virgin and do that most amazing job. I mean, I'm bigging you up, but it is an amazing job. Right? You've got a massive responsibility to, it's not an easy job to kind of, have this massive piece of metal and all the technology behind it, and then also you need the social skills as well to be able to give people comfort, that they have the confidence that they are actually going to reach their destination, and have the most professional environment so that they
you should be doing this job, not me.
But hey man, if I could, maybe I should get my little pilot's license.
Maybe you should be applying.
Maybe I should be applying. So tell us about the application process.
Okay.
You've got this initiative
If
running.
I tell you about the scheme first,
and
how it's evolved.
That'd be fantastic.
Virgin Atlantic are launching this new cadet program, and the main initiative behind it is that they want to open it up to everybody. They want to open it up to everybody. So Virgin Atlantic have said to me, my bosses have said, and this is one of the reasons I became quite interested in helping to run the scheme, was they said, we want to open it to everybody. We just don't want the stereotypical pilot, people applying. We want people from ethnic minority groups, etc., to apply as well. And one of the reasons I'm sitting here, they've given me the opportunity to come to the Seek channel and let all our community know that this scheme is available for literally, there's no age limit. You've got to have a minimum of 5 GCSEs, the right to live in the UK, be able to pass a medical, civil aviation medical, and go through quite a rigorous selection process with our training provider, which is CTC Aviation. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to be taking all the applicants, and you can apply through ctcaviation.com/Virgin Atlantic, and they will be taking all the applications. We've been inundated, absolutely inundated with applications. We've had over something like 5,000-6,000 people applying, and we're only offering 12 places, and they will do that, and then we will then interview the final 60 people and then take on 12 people, and then they will go through quite a stringent training program. But like I say, anybody from literally any background, subject to meeting certain criteria, can apply. I did it, over 12 years ago, but I did it myself. But if I can do it, trust me that it is achievable.
You're a testament to the fact that if you have a dream, you can do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And and the other thing as well is, as a Sardar, as a Sikh, you think you're going to have people stopping you or discrimination, whatever. To some degree, there has been that in the past, but
we've heard that the world has equal opportunities.
Yeah. And especially the airline industry. The airline industry. I mean, in particular with Virgin Atlantic. I mean, they fly to India, to the Far East, down to South Africa, Caribbean, Mexico, Havana, all around the States. The destinations are worldwide, and they know that the people travelling, they can't discriminate. It's just, it doesn't work and whatever.
Right.
And it isn't just about the passengers, it's about the staff as well. We have cabin crew from all over the world working for us as well. And our pilot workforce, I'm here representing that, and they've shown me nothing but respect as a Sikh officer.
I always believe that one of the interesting things is that there's always through diversity, isn't it? And it's kind of a bit of a throwaway line, but definitely if you look at an organisation that has many different people from different backgrounds, they all bring their experiences into that kind of pool of whatever strategy it is that organisation is going to follow. So, tell us a little bit about the kind of thing that you do when you're on the deck.
Okay.
It can be quite for me, I just go in there and go, look at all these displays. How can I actually kind of figure out all the things that are going on? It's like there's a lot of activity, isn't there? And you've got to contact the main base that you're going to get to, and
yeah, exactly. Obviously the training side of it is one aspect. Once you get into the aircraft and the types of specific aircraft that you're going to be flying, it's you've got to follow what they call standard operating procedures. So Virgin Atlantic have got their own. So for example, a typical day for me, I'll give you a good example. About 2 weeks ago, I was at home on standby, and I was watching Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I think you're a bit of a Trekkie.
I am a bit of a Trekkie, I have to admit that, sorry.
Yeah, I was watching it, and they phoned me up and they said, Jazz, we need you to operate a 6-day trip to the Caribbean. And my first response was, but Star Trek is on.
Okay, right.
But no, seriously, so I got called out for a 6-day trip.
This is why they've got tape recorders? Or they record things? No longer tape recorders, sorry. Yeah.
So I got called out for a 6-day trip to the Caribbean. So I drove, Heathrow is one of our main bases, as is Gatwick. I drove down to Gatwick. So one of the first things I will do is I'll go and meet my captain. And so we have a chat, get to know each other, and then we print off all the paperwork necessary for that flight. So that will include your flight plan. It's going to tell you what fuel you need to take, the route, what you need to program into the computer. It will tell you the weather, all the things that we need to know that is going to help us fly to our destination. We'll work on a plan in terms of choosing what fuel we're going to take, because obviously fuel is very costly nowadays, so we have to work out very carefully what we're going to take. And then we'll decide on that, and then we'll go and meet the cabin crew. So on a typical Caribbean trip, there might be 13, 14 cabin crew. We'll introduce ourselves and tell them any expected turbulence en route, time of flight, and likewise they'll tell us if they've got any issues. And then we'll all go to the aircraft together, fly, and getting into the aircraft itself, depending on what's flying. So for example, if I'm taking it out, I'll get my head in, start programming the computer, the route, the weather, as in the winds, and then the captain will be dealing with the fueler, the dispatcher, the person who's loading the aircraft. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I guess it's like 3 or 4 different types of skills there, isn't it? There's an operational management skill, actually knowing about the logistics and how that works, and there's probably a mechanical skill of knowing how the mechanism of the actual plane is going to be, and I suppose related to that is technological skill, which is all the technology that controls that, almost like a link between the technical side and the... You have to be quite a diplomat and
and then the last one is interpersonal skills as well,
Absolutely.
whether you're dealing with people who are actually in the cabin or passengers, or whether it be...
The job has changed over the last 25 years. Before, you would just take on kind of robots to some degree, but no, they want people with personality, and because you're dealing with, customers are so important in any business, and Virgin Atlantic take that very, very seriously. So we're, dealing with our customers, we're dealing with the fuelers, the dispatchers, the loaders, the airport authorities, air traffic control, and so we're always negotiating certain things. So that's very, very.
It was interesting. I read an article a few years ago that spoke about you've got these assembly, you've got all these aeroplanes that what are they called, the Red Arrows, right? And they said, well, the Red Arrows are great as pilots, but one of the things they try and enforce is that the pilot is just as important as the person that's working in the warehouse or in the actual hangar to clean the plane or make sure that all the equipment is properly 100%. That it's all part of the team, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a team working and leadership in that level, saying that it's not an ego trip. The fact that I That'll be backwards and forwards rather like that, isn't it?
Well, mine's a side stick. So.
Joystick, okay, and millions of buttons. You know, it's not just about that. It's also about joining people up and, you know, feeling that ultimately when you reach your destination, so many people have been involved in that, and, you know, you've got a leadership position, haven't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Behind every aircraft, there's, you know, the X amount of employees. You know, we've got customers, we've got the ticketing people, customer service. You know, you've got your food people. You've got you know, food, the training department at Virgin Atlantic is second to none at Gatwick, which you call the base.
So anybody that were to join this scheme has got this great opportunity to take advantage of fantastic training that Virgin have actually got in their training centre as well, haven't they?
Yeah. What will happen is, so for example, once the cadets are finalised and they'll start their course in May, so they'll be spending the first couple of months in the UK with CTC, doing all their ground school, all their examinations, with a bit of flying. And the main part of it is, which is the interesting part, is we're sending them out to Phoenix, Arizona to do their flying, because you kind of got all weather operations there, and you know, you can sometimes get hindered here with the weather. So we're sending them to Phoenix, and they're going to be spending 6 months out in Phoenix, and I'll be part of the team. There's about 6 of us who are looking after the cadets, and we're going to be basically not holding their hand, but guiding them through the whole process. Sure. So we'll be out there as well.
Building their confidence as well as they go along.
Exactly. Building their confidence, offering them any support that they may need, because we'll be the link between them and their families back in the UK. Do you think
you act as more of a mentor as well as a guide?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. It's a mentor role. It's a mentor role, but it's one where, you know, we've got the experience.
You've got the experience.
Because we've been there, we've done it, and we can offer them that. And because the training is very, very hard. I don't want to underestimate it, but I don't want to say, you know, it's impossible. It's hard, but achievable. So therefore, there's going to be times when, you know, people might get down, and when you're doing exams.
Yeah, sure. When you're doing exams, you have a bit of kind of a bit more focus, don't you?
That's where we're going to step in and offer them that support as and when they need it, really. So we'll be out in Phoenix. They'll come back from Phoenix, then they'll do some more ground school. They'll be doing some more flying back here in the UK, and then after the CTC experience, they'll come over specifically to Virgin, and at Virgin we will then use our simulators down in Burgess Hill, and they'll be spending a vast amount of time in the simulators, learning all our operating procedures, you know, all the emergencies, how to deal with passengers, all that kind of thing, dealing with slides. So it's all exciting stuff. And then they'll eventually go on the aircraft again, and they'll do a full year's worth of training on the aircraft with a specific training captain and a training first officer, and then they'll be flying the A330.
It just goes to show how the organisation takes it so seriously.
Oh, it has
make sure, you know, people are properly trained up, and you know, they've got the right skills and right level of confidence, and you know,
it's not just about they have to. It's, you know, because we've got civil aviation authorities, etc., monitoring everything we do. It's because we want to as well, because you know, Virgin Atlantic, just as most other airlines, take our safety as number one priority.
Paramount.
It has to be, and therefore, you know, we want to make sure that everybody who's behind the wheels of our aircraft are trained in that way.
Fantastic. So you know, we're getting close to the end. Tell us, remind us again how people can apply. I mean, what the criteria is, how they can apply, and I think that would be really useful for us.
There's the main website to apply to is ctcaviation.com/Virgin Atlantic, and there the criteria is listed on there. It will say 5 GCSEs, minimum, which should be maths and English, the ability to pass a Class 1 medical, ability to live and work in the UK. The criteria is on there, and then once they've applied, they then go to CTC for a selection process, and the selection process will basically involve
assessment
verbal reasoning, group exercises, one-to-one interviews, a whole bunch of testing that CTC will do. The scheme is more or less sponsored in terms of it costs £109,000 if you wanted to train, so it's more or less sponsored. And what will happen is you don't pay a single penny straight away. What will happen is you'll train with Virgin Atlantic, and then part of that will start coming out your salary. But it's a guaranteed scheme in terms of getting a job and being trained as an airline pilot. So you can look at the virginatlantic.com/careers. which gives more information.
Have you got that fantastic picture of you with all the rest of the crew?
Yes, yeah.
I've seen that one. I tweeted that one actually.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good.
Yeah. So, like you said, as a role model, it's a great opportunity for our Sikh community. Yeah. And my job as well is I'm going to be taking out next year when we launch it again. Hopefully, I'll be taking out to the wider community as well. But we thought we'd start off with the Sikh channel,
absolutely,
and try and promote it.
Well, we hope we can get some, fantastic candidates come forward and, apply and be inspired. Hopefully, be inspired by the amazing work that you do and other pilots. And like I said, it's also the other rest of the team that are involved. I think that's the key word here. That it's not just about one person there. It's a whole organisation that support and involve people. And not necessarily in the organisation, maybe also the ground crews as well. Maybe the people that are actually in the control towers. You've got to talk to them.
One of the part of the jobs, the training aspect is going to be that they go and spend some time with our ground people, go and spend time with ATC, go and spend some time with the operations department, cabin crew. So they're going to get a really wide variety of exposure to what
a very comprehensive training package, I think, as well. So that's it for this week. It's so wonderful to meet you again.
Likewise.
We met a few months ago, and really inspired. And I know you do a lot of charity work as well. So that's a great thing that you do too. But I wish you the best of luck with getting some candidates.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully you can get an opportunity to apply that. There's loads of information available from the website that Jaspal said. Also. We hope that one of those candidates will come back one day with you.
Absolutely.
That would be a pretty good show to do, wouldn't it? And we wish you fantastic travels and safe travels ahead with all the great work that you do. And I'm certainly inspired. I can't come back next week and do another show. But, hopefully there's somebody out there who can apply and be successful. And very great initiative by Virgin to introduce us. And especially, the points that were made earlier on about, role models and diversity and the kind of respect level. It's good for an organisation to have that. So until next time, we hope you enjoyed the show. My thanks again to the show, my organised things behind the scenes in terms of the cameraman. I don't mind. Give credit to all the people that do editing of the programme and everything. Also, Jaspal for coming in. Jaspal's fantastic support team that have also come into the studio today, so thanks very much to them too. And thank you, Virgin, for giving us an opportunity to showcase some of the great work you do and the great initiative that you have as an outreach to the community. So until next time, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.